Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, man. Hunt the ball. Let's go, family on 3. 1, 2, 3, family.
Hello, football family. Welcome into Huddle It Up Films, Week 10. Week 10 of our NFL picks.
10.
At 10, yeah. Fly away, bro. Fly away. Alec from Ravens Recap joining me as usual. And Alec, we're getting picks in from other people, from viewers. So I'm proud to announce that Jonathan Kittner has entered the scene with his picks. We also got picks from Cordarius last week. Now, Cordarius did pick the Browns win, so props to him. He's 1-2. Jonathan went 7-6. I'm going to copy and paste down the bottom, I think, Alec. So anybody that wants to pick along, they don't have to type the whole thing out. They just got to type in the initials. But it's pretty cool to see we got a partner or two joining in with us.
Yeah, no, it's a fun exercise. I enjoy doing it every week, and I'm glad I'm finally doing it. I've been talking about doing this for a couple seasons now, so finally getting after it.
Well, I mean, you got me, bro. You got me. So
that's right. Without you, this would not be possible. So
wow,
good stuff.
That's
it's true. It's true.
Very
High
meaningful.
Praise.
Very
High
yeah. Don't make me cry. Don't make me cry on YouTube. But yes, Alec on the year, still 22 games over 500. Alec, you're doing good, man. It's 73-51. I have crept back over that 500 mark, 63-61. So I wouldn't be making any money, but picking games with the spread is tough. And Alec, we're not just picking the winners here. We're trying to take the spread into account, which of course makes it so much harder.
It does, yeah. If we were doing money line, this would be a lot easier. Although last week we just got screwed, dude. Like last week was full of crazy upsets that no one expected. I think that's why last week was so difficult for all of us.
Yeah, Antonio said something to me. He said that he thought I was crazy for taking the Jags, and I had to slow it down. I took the Jags plus a boatload of points. I didn't expect them to beat Buffalo, but
right.
Yeah. Why don't you kick us off, big dog? We got a Ravens game tonight, so I got my Lamar jersey on, man, number 8. Coming back home
right here. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Same thing. Yeah. I wanted to wear it again. So going up, this is interesting. I think this is going to be the game we get to watch. Maybe I didn't look at the schedule yet on TV, but the Bucs at Washington football team. The Bucs are a 9-point favorite, and in this game, I believe Washington had a bye last week, if I recall correctly. Yeah, right. Yeah, they definitely did. So they had a bye. The Bucs, I don't believe, had a bye. No, they might have too, actually. Oh well. It doesn't matter to me though. I think the Bucs are going to win this game, and I think they're going to win by 9 points. So I'm taking the Bucs here, and I just think that they're the better team. The Washington football team's really been floundering, and their defense has not been performing the way that people expected preseason. And the Bucs have all the weapons, even without Antonio Brown. And maybe even Godwin might be out. I think Evans will be enough, and I think they'll roll.
I'm locking this one in straight up, man. I'm taking the Bucs. I just don't see Washington. Man, it would have been interesting to see this team with Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'm kind of bummed because if anything, it would have been interesting. Not saying they would have won the division or they probably wouldn't be as. I'm confident they wouldn't be up there with Dallas, but it just at least would have been an more interesting season. And I can't believe how this Washington defense fell apart. It was a unit that I was very high on. So yeah, even with a 9-point spread, I think the Bucs win by 2 touchdowns here. So I'm going with Alec on that one. Buffalo, minus 11 points at the New York Jets. I'm taking the Jets. The Jets have been scrappy. It's actually been one of the teams that I've been right on all year, like for better and worse. I'm feeling the Jets on this one. Buffalo, I'm not sure if they can blow the Jets out. Jets have a pretty good defense, a pretty good pass defense. Buffalo doesn't have a running game. So I wouldn't be surprised if this game goes down to the wire. Getting 11 points, I'll definitely take those 11 points with the Jets.
Yeah, I completely get all the reasons that you're going with the Jets. But despite that, I'm going to go with the Bills here to cover the 11 points, which is a lot. I just think the Bills got embarrassed last week against the Jags. They have a lot to prove. And even though the Jets have been playing better lately, I don't deny that. And some of their younger pieces are starting to figure things out. I just think that the Bills they're still the real deal. Even though they got knocked off their pedestal this week, and they'll be able to handle the Jets.
Okay.
All right, dude, this is a fun one. Lions at Steelers. Steelers 8-point favorites. Going with the Lions to cover here. Not sure if they're going to win. Not sure if they're going to get that win against the Steelers, but I do think that they'll cover and keep it close. The Steelers do not look good. Claypool might be hurt. I just think that's a team on the downswing, man. Like they like Big Ben just can't throw the ball the same way anymore, man. Like some of those passes look like total ducks. I'm just not high on that team right now. I think they don't have the right leader.
Okay. And you said you like these games a lot this week, right? Did you say you like this slate?
I do like this slate. I feel good about it.
All right. Well, I don't like this slate, so now I don't like disagreeing with you because I'm taking Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh wins this game by more than 8 because the strength of the Lions, if they have one on offense, is their running game, and Pittsburgh's really good against the run. So I don't see how Detroit's really going to score in this game. Not that Pittsburgh is offensive juggernaut or anything, but when Najee Harris, come into play, looks good. And then, of course, Pittsburgh has some weapons. Not sure if Claypool is a little banged up, but still, I'll take Pittsburgh in this one to win by more than 8 points. I like that pick. Dallas is also an 8-point favorite. That's our next game. The Atlanta Falcons are coming to town. Atlanta is another team, one of the few that I've been right on with, but I'm not feeling them this week. I'm taking Dallas minus the 8. I feel like, with Dak back another week, in a dome at home, I just feel like that Dallas can get this offense rolling. I think they're going to win both lines of scrimmage. I don't see the weapons. Hopefully, also just want to send a prayer out to Calvin Ridley. I really hope whatever's going on with him is going okay. But aside from that, I like Dallas's team a lot better than Atlanta's in this game for whatever reason, and I'll happily give the 8 points and say Dallas wins by a couple touchdowns.
Yeah, me too. I just don't like the Falcons much this year. I think the Cowboys are good, even though their defense got a little bit exposed last week and they're not looking as sharp. I think the Cowboys are still a good team. They got the offensive tools, and the Falcons just feels like a mismatch of random toys there. It just doesn't feel like it's a cohesive unit. This doesn't feel like the way that they really wanted to build their offense. And obviously you can't anticipate the Calvin Ridley outage, but at the same time, I just feel like even before that, it was dysfunctional. So I'm not too high on the Falcons here. Saints at Titans. Titans 2.5-point favorite. This is very interesting. I'm going with the Titans. I don't know if that's like recency bias about how they handled the Rams, but I think overall the Saints are a little bit topsy-turvy. It sounds like Simeon might play again over Taysom Hill, which is a little surprising to me. And I think also that the Titans are starting to piece things together even without Henry. They're starting to lean on that passing game a little bit. So going ahead, taking the Titans here. I think they'll be able to win, and it's not that big of a spread.
Not that big of a spread going Tennessee at home. Intra-conference games, Alec, is another indicator for me. I mean, I have a lot of them, so a lot of them cancel each other out. But when an NFC team goes to an AFC team or vice versa, I tend to favor the home team. Tennessee just looks like they're playing really well as a team, whereas New Orleans is in this reset with the quarterback position. Don't like that at all. So I'm going to take Tennessee in this one as well, even though I've been on the New Orleans bandwagon and I've liked them as a team. I like what New Orleans has. Like if Jameis was healthy and serviceable, I think they would still be a threat to win a playoff game. Maybe not go to the Super Bowl or anything, but they have a pretty damn good roster. I'm still taking Tennessee in this game. Now, Indianapolis at home, 10-point favorites over Jacksonville. Jacksonville coming off that big upset of Buffalo. I think this is a letdown game for them. I like Indianapolis in this game, even with the 10 points. So big point spread. I think that Carson Wentz better play well in this game, Alec, because I don't know if you saw, but his wife might have a baby on Sunday, and he said,
"Oh yeah, I heard about this." Yeah,
yeah. Wentz said, "I'm playing no matter what." So
right.
Carson Wentz, if you're missing the birth of your child for a football game, you better play well in this game. So I'm going to bank on that, bank on the happy vibes, bringing home a win to the new baby, whatever the situation is. I'll take Indianapolis, even with the 10 points. I'm giving it.
Yeah, I think the Colts are able to do get the dub here and beat the Jags handily. I believe in Pittman. I believe in Jonathan Taylor just lining it up against them. I think there's going to be two players that ball out next week, or I guess this week coming up. And yeah, I feel good about them. Going ahead, this is a really interesting game. Browns at Patriots. To my surprise, the Patriots are a 2.5-point favorite. So therefore, I'm going with the Browns because I was shocked to see that the Patriots were favorites. I mean, I guess in a neutral field, the Browns would be a 0.5-point favorite. But yeah, I feel like there's something up with that, man. Like, I could see how the Pats can win it. Don't get me wrong, but I just think that even with Chubb out with COVID potentially, that they could make it work and beat the Pats.
Struggled with this one, Alec. Struggled.
Yeah.
But I took the Browns. I ended up agreeing with you. I actually called on my son for the tiebreaker. He said take Cleveland. I'm taking Cleveland plus the 2.5. Yeah, I mean it's going to be a good game. This is a game that I would like to watch because Mac Jones looks like he's getting in a groove. Cleveland's up and down. You know, as a Raven fan, I'll be rooting for the Patriots in this game, but I'm going to go ahead and take Cleveland to win this game. 2.5 points isn't much, so whenever the spread's under 3, I'm just going with the winners. I guess you think the same way on that too. Most people would. The next game, Carolina at Arizona. Arizona is 10.5 point favorites. We don't have any really status on Kyler Murray either, right, Alec? Because I looked. So
yeah, I mean, he says he's looking better, feeling better, whatever, but it doesn't mean much, right? It's all farts and whistles.
yeah, I would stay away from this game. I would not put money on this game right now because of Kyler's status. And then Carolina, late breaking news is they signed Cam Newton. Not sure if he'll be ready to go. I mean, yeah, it's his old team, but it's a lot changed news. Yeah, he probably won't be. He won't.
Well, I don't even think he could play because last I checked, he was unvaccinated, and I think there's like a protocol for him to get back onto the team, anyways.
He was vaccinated, from what I saw, by the way.
Oh, he got vaccinated. Okay, good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still don't think he plays. I think I did read a report that they're going with PJ this week. So
I'm taking the Cardinals. I didn't mean to sidetrack you there. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it's all good.
But yeah, even with the Kyler's status being up in the air, this Carolina team is just deflated, man. Like they started pretty strong. Sam Darnold looked like he was reviving his career. Things started to go downhill a little bit. Then they started going downhill a lot bit. Arizona has a lot to play for. They're in a competitive conference, competitive division. So yes, I'll take Arizona and give the 10.5 and take my chances with that.
Yeah, I think last week we were all really hesitant to pick the Cardinals because of the Kyler Murray news, and they rolled. I think the Panthers are an even worse team, and he might actually play. So I feel like it's a good way to go with the Cardinals here. That's basically my whole analysis.
Nice. That's why you get paid the big bucks, man.
I mean, yeah. Now this was my almost lock of the week, but it's not. So Vikings at Chargers. Chargers a 3-point favorite. Yeah, Chargers can win this game. I think they're starting to get things together. I understand, man. The Vikings just they love to lose in tight matchups. So I just can't pick them. After last week, I was down on them before. I'm down on them even more so now. I think the Chargers can figure it out at home and win by the field goal.
This game, I'm picking the Chargers. Just say that first of all, so I can flash it up on the screen. But this game kind of. I went back and forth a little bit, and this is why, Alec, both teams, the Ravens have played both teams. We've seen them up close that neither team can stop the run. And then when I look at Dalvin Cook and Madison and the Vikings' identity as a run team, I'm like, man, Minnesota's going to win the time of possession, this and that. But overall, I like the Chargers' big playability. I like the Chargers being able to move the ball through Eckler and Keenan Allen. I like the Chargers cornerbacks and defensive backs better. I like the fact that the Chargers are playing home. The Minnesota Vikings played on the East Coast last week. Now they're going to the West Coast. It's a different conference, teams that don't see each other. So yeah, long story longer. I'm taking the Chargers, giving the 3 points. Another 3-point spread. We got 3-point spreads in a row. This is the Fighting Fangios, bro, at home. Vic Fangio.
Player safety and embodiment.
Yes, man. He is the commissioner of all unspoken rules. And his team is 3-point favorites with the Philadelphia Eagles coming to town. I'm taking Denver in this barely, man. This is another game I would not bet on. It's only a 3-point spread. I could see this being a tie. So bonus point for me, man. I might give myself an extra game, even though that's illegal. But I'm calling a 3-point win. Denver is going to win by 3, but I'll take Denver and give the 3 points. I say we'll say they win by 4. I'll say 24-20 Denver at home in the Mile High City. How about you, sir?
Eagles win the game, and therefore I'm giving them the 3 points because, I just this one was interesting to me. Almost another lock. not that high on the Broncos right now. I don't think they're going to be able to piece it together. I think the Eagles will just kind of like surprise them. Again, two teams that don't play each other often. I don't know. Like I could see that being like completely wrong, by the way. It's just that for whatever reason, I was just looking at this, and even though I've been down the Eagles and the Hurts experience the whole season, I was like, oh, they're going to win. Like I was just like, I don't know, I felt pretty confident about it.
But you blow me away. First of all, you're like, this is a great game. I love this. And then you're like, no, I hate it. Like you go like up and down on me within the same game pick, man. What's going on? How do you really feel?
Well, I just think I just for whatever reason, my gut told me the Eagles. I follow it. It's doesn't lead me wrong.
How big is your gut? You got a big belly?
Oh man, you know, I just had some homemade pasta. I was, carving it up over here. All right, let's go ahead to the next one, man. This is another fun game. Hope to watch it. Seahawks at Packers. It looks like I don't know what's going on with Rodgers. Can he play? I haven't heard.
If he clears Saturday, it's another game without a quarterback. Knowing who the quarterback is, definitely.
Yeah, and then it looks like Wilson will be back for the Seahawks. So I went with the Packers to win regardless, which is like kind of anti my like normal mojo, so to speak. And the reason why is even I usually like the Seahawks a lot. I usually favor them, but the Packers actually played pretty darn well on defense. You know, the defense like obviously wasn't impacted by Rodgers not being there. And I just feel like they might actually be able to pull it together. And if Rodgers is there, I feel pretty darn confident that they'll be able to pull it off. I don't know. Like maybe as I talk about it, I'm starting to think that this might be the wrong choice. Like particularly if Love plays, could be a disaster. So I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, if Love plays, I'm taking the Seahawks heavy. If
Yeah.
Rodgers plays, I'm taking the Packers. I'm assuming Rodgers does play, and so I'm taking the Packers. I mean, that's basically how it comes down. Like, I expect a little bit of rust from Russ. Said that very carefully. But, you're coming off and, the finger's not right. Like he's coming back ahead of schedule. Broken finger on his dude. It was nasty. He showed the pin that he had in it. It was a nasty, nasty injury for Russ. So quite the gamer, but I feel like there'll be a little bit of rust. Green Bay's at home. The point spread's only 3. If Rodgers plays, I can see him trying to show off in this game. So I'll go ahead, take the Packers, give the 3 points. I say if Rodgers plays, I think they win by 10. Big bold prediction there. So wow. I'll give the 3 points. Yep. Kansas City, Las Vegas. Now this was the other game that I couldn't figure out and asked my son for advice. So Kansas City is going to Las Vegas. Kansas City is a 2.5-point favorite. So if you take Kansas City, not only are you taking them on the road, but you're giving the 2.5 points, which isn't much. My son likes Kansas City. I'm going with Kansas City. I could see both sides, but my argument for Kansas City in this game is that it's about time for them to put together a full game on offense. It really is, Alec. And the Raiders defense, is a little bit up and down. Like the Raiders can be had on defense. They can get a good pass rush with Crosby and Ngakoue. So I couldn't pick it. Asked the son. He picked Kansas City. Therefore, going with Kansas City. That's a strong take.
Strong take. Yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs too here. They always make me sad, but I feel like 2.5 is coverable. And I think, and the other thing is, dude, like, I think eventually Mr. Mahomes is going to figure out just to take what the defense is giving him. Like they're giving him actually, I think, a silver platter to win and dunk in these games. Yeah. Like, oh, they're taking away the big play, but like you can get the small play, and you got speedsters, and you got like big man Kelsey. Just like get it through your head that they'll get some yak instead of you like getting the dazzling throw. I don't think it's like actually this difficult. Now, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire may be back. That's another interesting thing to pay attention to. Maybe have more clarity on Saturday. That I think actually could help him quite a bit, because even though I'm not impressed by him or that whole run game in general, I do think he's better than the options they've been toting out there. And definitely going to have an eye on this game.
So, Alec, I'm going to interrupt you here before you go to our last game. But, that's one of the things as a Ravens fan that we've complained about is that defenses are playing this deep. They're trying really hard to take away Hollywood and Duvernay screaming up the seam on these deep, they're just not giving it to us. And we're like, what's taking them so long to adjust? And then we saw when the Ravens played the Colts. And then we saw last week Same thing. You start taking what the defense gives you. And it's got to be incredibly frustrating for Kansas City fans to have a quarterback like Mahomes can do pretty much whatever he wants on a football field, just not taking what the defense gives him. It's just like if you're a hitter and you're struggling, you don't start, you just got to go back to the basics, take what the pitcher's giving you, put the fat part of the bat on the ball. Don't try to kill it. Don't try to hit home runs. And that's what Mahomes needs to do. And I think he said that in his press conference earlier this week. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he actually talked about that, didn't he?
I saw a thing saying that he was going to keep taking shots, but that might have been a selective edit. Like, I'm going to keep taking shots, but I'm definitely going to take the, defense. You can see how that could work.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I didn't hear it directly, but I mean, that'd be smart for him to get their hands of that. It's just like, I feel like it's one of those things where when you had so much success for so many years, like just like raining deep balls on people and making these crazy plays, that's like what and that's what you feel maybe even more comfortable with. But if you just trust your guys and they don't have great, like, honestly, after the big, two, they don't have great weapons after that. And I could see that being like the struggle there, but you got to just trust them to, like, do their job and catch the ball. And, as long as they got enough positive yards, like, it'll be good. Like, I've never really understood why teams are so scared of the short passing game. I feel like it's a pretty nice way to, like, manufacture some rhythm and,
especially when your defense is bad, Alec. Especially you got a bad defense. Take that 5-6 yards.
And it's also one of those things, dude, where, like, then once they do that, you can go back to your bread and butter. Like, it's not that we don't get long plays. We just have to wait for it to be given to us. It's just kind of like, I don't know. It feels pretty straightforward, but I don't ever played the game, so what do I know? Let's wrap this one up, dude. Rams at 49ers, as you've noticed. I haven't used my lock. The Rams here are a 3.5-point favorite. The Rams went all in when they went and got Von Miller, and then they said, we're going all in, and they're trying to get OBJ, which is hilarious because we didn't even see Von Miller play. So did they win that hand? I guess they did, so that they can go all in again. So I'm going with the Rams. I'm going with the Rams. I'm going with the Rams here, bro. I don't know. Like, I think the Rams are good. The 49ers are also decent, but, like, they're not good enough. And yeah, I know the Rams disappointed me last week, and I think people might be overcorrecting on that. So go ahead, take the Rams, let them win. But yeah, I think we can talk afterwards what I actually think about the Rams long term. But for this game, they can win it.
No, man, give it to me. We got a little bit of time.
So I got a bet going with my friend. He thought I was delusional for thinking the Ravens could beat the Rams, and he was like, "Well, I don't know. We might not see that in the Super Bowl." I was like, "Dude, they played last week of the season. Like, we'll see it." And he's like, "Oh, but it's last week. It might be the frozen tundra in Baltimore." And, like, he's like making all these excuses, and I was like, "Dude, you're going right back to my point. The Rams are fragile. I don't think they have a winning culture. I don't think that they actually, like, will go the distance. I don't think they're built for it, to be honest with you. I think they don't have the character." And I know that's kind of a very foo-foo way of looking at a team, right? Like, going ahead and saying, like, they don't have the character. Like, they just need to play good football. Who cares about character? But I think when you look at who wins Super Bowls, usually it's not these, like, teams that I feel like the Rams are just they almost remind me of all these, like, hot shots that they're pulling in, to try to, like, get something done. But I don't think they got that team cohesion. I don't think they have much like, bonds. And I kind of take that from Marcus Peters. Marcus Peters has talked really highly of coming to the Ravens organization and the family aspect that they have. And obviously the last place he was before was the Rams. Same coaching staff as when he was there. And I just think overall, like, when you get to the playoffs, it takes a little bit more culture. I mean, look at the Bucks, right? I think Tom Brady kind of brought a culture there, and they were able to go ahead and win. I don't know if Arians did that by himself per se, but I think that kind of matters in the playoffs. It's more than just, like, who the best teams are. We've seen so many times the best teams get knocked out. It has a lot to do with, like, character, preparation, and I just think the Rams are fragile. There you go.
Wow. Okay, so I'm going to give my game pick first. I've taken the Rams -3.5. San Francisco, I think, has got some real issues that are starting to show every week. So I expect the Rams to go in there, familiar divisional opponent, not worried about the road. When it's a conference game, like, whenever you're going on the road in the conference, it's a little less daunting because you go there every year. Coaches, where you're staying, the field, everything. So I think the Rams are the much better team. I could have locked this one in too. -3.5, no problem. I think they win this game. Now, on your second part, I wanted to disagree with you so bad until you brought up Marcus Peters. I can't go against Marcus because that's my guy. But,
no, but I'm interested. Yeah, why would you disagree?
Well, I disagree. First of all, because I picked the Rams and the Ravens were the two teams that I put money on in Delaware to win the Super Bowl. So I put triple digits on both. So if they hit, one of them hits, like I'm hoping they meet in the Super Bowl because I win no matter what. Of course, I just hope the Ravens win. I don't care who else is in there, really. Just give me the Ravens. But yeah, I think that they do have cohesion on the field. Like I don't know about McVay or whatever happened with Marcus Peters. That does raise an eyebrow because Marcus has nice things to say about Andy Reid, even though he was left, unceremoniously, left there. Anytime a player is great as Marcus Peters leaves, there's some other stuff happening. So I always kind of saw it as, maybe Marcus had some things to work out when he was in Kansas City, but once he got to LA, he felt like he was at home, and then they booted him out for Ramsey. And I don't think that went, you can tell it obviously didn't go over well. But cohesion wise, Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, I see cohesion. Aaron Donald, the way Ramsey's playing, I see a lot of talent that's been there for a little while now. Stafford's obviously new, but Ramsey and Donald in a groove. That whole defense. I like the Rams team. I don't know. Maybe you're right. I think Green Bay is going to be a strong contender. The Rams are going to be a strong contender. Dallas has really snuck up on me. But if I had to pick NFC Championship game right now, I would probably pick Green Bay and the Rams. And in the AFC, I like the Ravens and the Bills, I think, are the two best teams over there.
Hey, man, I'm not saying that they're not good and they're not going to be able to find their way to the Super Bowl. I just think they'll lose to the Ravens. I think also I look, I haven't obviously been able to watch all their games, but if I recall correctly, they had not been able to come back from behind yet. And they just I said, that kind of comes back to the whole fragileness that I was speaking of. Whereas the Ravens are really battle tested. I was just I told them, the real conversation was will the Ravens beat the Rams? I was like, yeah, they got that.
So I'm interested. I'm interested to hear from Jonathan and Cordarius and Antonio on this because I know they watch the videos. What do you think about the Rams, man? Give me a little comment about the Rams down there. But Alec, we have a game to watch, so we're gonna go. We're gonna sign off right now. As always, thank you very much, Alec, and it was great to have you on the game review show. Sure, people saw that. Ravens recap. Always pump it up. Chris, Peter. Chris is very scarred about Pancake Pat, not understanding where Pancake Pat was from.
Gotta listen to the next episode. There's more Pancake Pat story
lamenting. Yeah. And that's right. I do see it. I won't give it away, but I think Chris put his money where his mouth went wrong. So that's a great story, man. But thank you to my football family. Love you guys. Alex, say goodbye to people now.
Good night, guys.